12 months ago, AI was a definite advantage in a job search. Now it's a baseline. Everybody's using it. However, it is going too far in some cases and really harming people's job searches. I'm Paul Swanwick. I've got 22 years experience in recruitment and made over 1,000 hiring decisions. Let's get into it. 12 months ago, AI was an idea in sense of job searches and hiring. Fast forward 12 months to today, and it's everywhere. And I think for the better, largely. But there are cases where it's gone too far. And where it goes too far, it becomes very easy to spot for a hiring manager and for a recruiter. As soon as we can see that it's essentially dominated, then we start to lose interest. And here's why. People argue that if applicants use AI and hiring teams use AI in their applicant tracking systems, then what's the problem? Now, the businesses that I work with that are huge fans of using AI in their processes, they don't let it do everything for them. What they do is they use it to support, to do the grunt work. They are smart. They use it to scrape. They use it to do a lot of the data, the analysis, the collecting, the breakdown, the support. They'll use it to produce documents. They'll use it to do all sorts of things. But when it comes to creativity, decision-making, you need to bring the human element in. If they see a resume that's been completely AI created and obviously sent to thousands and thousands of jobs in, say, 5 seconds by an automated AI app, then what it tells us is that you don't understand AI. It tells us that you're lazy. It tells us that you don't sit there and take your career seriously. And therefore, if we hired you, would you take your job seriously? That's the key shift. So I think that's an important thing to know, because you've got to now make the call as to where AI stops and you take over. Here's how I would use AI in a job search, and this is how I teach people to do it. Research. That's the first thing. If you want to work for a particular company, you can use AI to research what's happening, every mention of that company, its industry, its governance, its competitors. Bring that to you, and you can then click on the links and do the research yourself. It does the grunt work. It's brilliant. Structuring your resume. If you really do struggle with that and you want to do it yourself, you can get a basic structure and flow. You're still going to have to do the content yourself, but again, it's building a shell for you to build off yourself. Thirdly, looking at a job description or an advert. Let's say you're looking at a job advert and you're thinking, okay, I want to make sure that my resume and the experience that I have or the achievements that I've come up with are very relevant. Or if I'm writing a cover letter, I want to be able to pull out the key things from this job advert. You can ask AI to do that for you. Okay, pull out the key things that you think are relevant to this role in line with any research that's in the market. Verify it yourself and then start to do the creative stuff yourself, like build the cover letter. One thing I will say, I receive a lot of cover letters that are essentially using AI to look at the job advert and then regurgitate it back to me. There's nothing new in there. It's just moved the words around, and that looks terrible. It's all about doing it yourself, but use it for grunt work, use it for research, use it for ideas, but then use your own brain to take that to the next level. So where AI really works against us is when we allow it to do everything for us. It just doesn't work. We end up with a resume and a cover letter that looks impressive because it's got a lot of really nice language, but it never gets to a particular point or anything specific. We see achievements that might look and read technically impressive, but have no actual specific outcomes that we can use to measure. We'll have beautifully structured sentences that unfortunately just do not read human. All those things together make us doubt the authenticity of an application. And what will happen, unfortunately, if you combine that with an AI application platform that goes out and sends, say, 500 to 1,000 applications within the space of an hour on your behalf, you are sending out subpar documentation, i.e., a really bad marketing pitch, 500 to 1,000 times. And what is likely to happen is that you will get 500 to 1,000 rejections as a result of that. It hasn't got you anywhere. So you've really got to think about where you're happy using AI to and owning the bit where you take over. Because if you let it do everything for you, chances are you just won't get anywhere in your job search at all. So here's a really good way to use AI if you're going to create a resume and you're struggling to get the formatting right, okay? For achievements, ask AI, give me a sentence about somebody who has achieved this, okay, X, whatever it is. And then take that sentence structure, put it in your resume, and make it human. Make it about you. Sometimes we just need a bit of prompting, and that's what it's really good for. Ask it to do some research for you, okay? And link it back to a particular interview you're going for. Give them a job description and say, and here's the company, here's the job advert, here's what I've researched, here's what I want to know. So we go back to that list of goals we had pre-interview and say, can you structure some questions that I can ask that allow me to find out these things that I want to know using this research? And it will. But again, look at what it's written because it'll sound very robotic and very fake, and then start adding your touch to that. In summary, AI is the support mechanism for us to make the most coherent human argument. We've got to retain our voice right throughout any document that we present and when we're at interview. We've got to be able to talk about our achievements and outcomes with evidence, with numbers, in detail. And our perspective has to be clear, it has to be human. Our why, our goals, our vision, what it is that we want out of this job, and why we're sitting in front of you right now. That can never be replaced by AI. If you want to delve more into this topic, the link to Career Hijack is in the comments below.